Hi guys, it's Andrew Zeleno, nice to see you again. I'm a professional audio engineer with 15 years of experience in professional field. Last 5 years I'm a teacher for the really unique audio production and mixing course. Really recommend this course for you, it can be game changer. What you've seen a couple of seconds ago was Yamaha THR10, pretty small, pretty cheap. Relatively cheap, of course, amplifier. We're gonna talk about that today. I'm gonna give you really interesting ideas, not just review, not just opinion on it. I'm gonna even share some kind of ideas how you set up amplifiers from my professional experience, so it will be pretty useful. I'm just gonna quickly, like during 1 minute, gonna tell you a little bit about my course. I taught 150 people around the world during 9 months course. Is really kind of top-end course. What you get if you attend this course? First of all, it's a really full theory. You will never need to learn anything after this course. I really know to explain really well, so even if you're a total beginner, you can attend this course, and after this course you will never need to learn anything about audio production anymore. Second thing, what you get, it's a top skills. We have a lot of homeworks. I check your homeworks and you even can choose your own songs. I never check your song before the class. I open it and I try to explain how to do it better. I show you what I do, what to listen to, why I do this. And we always compare with some top sounding mix of some audio engineer from top 20 audio engineers ever. And I show you how to bring your mix to that level when it's really comparable against some, let's say, mix from Chrysler LG, for example. In this way you see your progress class after class, and other schools show you only final settings for some specific project. So in this case, those settings can be absolutely useless for other songs. Third thing, what you get, it's a great value. You can buy 1 microphone or 4 plugins or 1 decent preamplifier or 1.5 monitors, decent monitors, and it doesn't guarantee that you're gonna have top sounding mixes, top sounding products, top sounding music. My course costs the same, but it's 1000 times more valuable because it really gives you that results. And it costs like 30-50 times less than some university program of Berkeley or Full Sail University, and I even had students who graduated from Berkeley and they said my course is better. And fourth thing, you're on the safe side, because you don't have any risk to lose your money because you pay monthly. That's it. So check it out, this course, it can be really useful. And now let's go to the topic. So what you've seen right now, it was recording on modern channel. It's a Mesa Boogie rectifier from THR10. It's really unique boxes, you know. Honestly speaking, I have a top-end amplifier called Wizard Modern Classic. It's a boutique company of a former AC/DC tech. It's really unique amplifier, really good, and it costs 4,500. So it's crazy expensive amplifier. And honestly speaking, after I checked Yamaha, I don't really feel bad about these small boxes, you know, so I really enjoy quality of these boxes. So what you have in their range called THR10, it's a 3 amplifiers. Main version looking like this, it's called THR10. Second amplifier called THR-C, which is more like clean side, you know, from like clean to blues rock, something like that. And third version, it's really high gain amplifiers, and it has even a clean channel, which is pretty good, so it can be really versatile amplifier as well. Probably the most versatile is the first one, which is called THR, that's it, you know, THR10. It has from clean to high gain. What's the point of having this amplifier? First of all, it's like more practice amp. Of course, you can have really good amplifier like I have, for example, Wizard. This amplifier is 100 watts. It can be like really painful for your ears. Even if you have some small amplifier like 15 watts, still can be too loud for your home environment, especially if you live in an apartment. Even if you don't care about your neighbors, for me it's really important to have finalized sound. I really like to have tube saturation. As you know, we have power tubes, and usually in majority of amplifiers, or maybe in every amplifier, you need to really crank up output volume until it really sounds full, sounds fat, and those harmonics, which will be placed more in mid frequencies instead of upper mid-range and high frequencies. In this case, your sound start to be more smooth, start to be fatter, rounder, and in this case you smooth out those annoying, aggressive upper mid-range of your sound. So power tubes, distortion, power tube saturation is really important for me, because I really desire this sort of sound. For example, even in this Wizard amplifier, which is 4500, I need to crank my volume at least at 5 to get more or less right sound. For example, I don't like sound when my volume around you know, like 3, 2, something like that. Also, probably my favorite range of volume knob, it's somewhere around 6, 7, when it really starts to be sounding smooth, fat. And by the way, I'm not a guy who like just like hum from the amplifier. I actually really care about mixing because I'm a mixer, and definitely I tried not to overdo with mids and lows. I try to keep them tight, not to have too much muddiness in the sound. So but I really don't enjoy sound when my volume around 3 or 2. In this case, I really prefer these amplifiers because they really allow you to have, you know, like a volume for bedroom practicing, but having this saturation. Of course, it's a digital emulation, but honestly speaking, it's pretty good digital emulation. I personally not a big fan of plugins in terms of how they emulate amplifiers. I like EQs, I like compressors. When it has something to do with clean sound, I like plugins, but I don't like plugins when they try to emulate saturation, kind of analog bass stuff and all this stuff. So for me, maybe it's not cool, but you know, I'm pretty surprised with these amplifiers. You can say, why you need it? I have Suhr load box, amazing load box, reactive load box, really producing enough high frequencies, really translate sound of amplifier more or less right. I like to use impulses, and of course I can keep my 100 watt amplifier being like pretty quiet, being on the right volume, using just monitors and some impulse responses, right? I like Rosen digital impulse responses, I like Ownhammer, for example. Probably these two my favorite companies. Honestly speaking, it's still painful for me to plug it in, and it takes really a lot of time, you know. Sometimes you have just a couple of minutes, maybe you got some like 30 seconds break between something, you know, maybe your wife went to kitchen or something like that. You grab a guitar, you turn on your little device and you play instantly, you know. Your wife comes back from the kitchen, you can turn it off and you continue watching movies or whatever you do, you know, different stuff you can do together. So it would take, you know, at least like 5 minutes until I load my DAW, until I load some project, or I prepare everything in manual mode, you know, put in all these plugins to load impulse responses. So it can take really a lot of time. I have an idea of some song I can write. I'm really songwriter. So I just can switch it and I can play it, you know, so it's really good stuff. When you have this amplifier, first of all, it looks great, you know, it has this kind of tube light. Actually, of course, it's not tube, probably some LED light, but you know, at least when you have dimmed light in your room at night or something like that, you really enjoy this kind of vibe which goes from this amplifier. Probably the best looking for me is the white one. At night, I really don't see labels on this amplifier. I have two of them. I have green one and white one. I still would enjoy to have black one, but maybe it's too much to have 3 of these boxes, you know, so for me it's 2 boxes. First box, called THR10, is white box. You can change firmware and you can change from version 1 to version B. First version sometimes more interesting for some people. You can downgrade to first version and it can be sounding differently. Plus, you can tweak all settings on this amplifier through the computer using application on your computer, so you can even change impulse response options. You can remember settings. I really don't have time to mess with these boxes. I just use it for some personal reasons, so I really enjoy how it is by default. By default, you have next. Of course, it's for bass guitars and acoustic guitars if your acoustic guitar has pickups. If it's electroacoustic guitar, you can plug it in as well, and you have DI input for playing through the system everything you like, because it's a full range speakers. It means you can play music through it. It's a stereo system, by the way. They have 2 speakers, synthesizer or just playing some music. You can even use it for backing tracks, you know, so it's pretty cool. I say over here deluxe, it's not deluxe, actually it's a mistake. It should be clean. So clean is a Fender twin reverb. Really cool one. I really enjoy this clean the most. My favorite clean is white box. Clean in THR10C and THR10X is the same. It's a Fender Deluxe. Sounding still okay. Next thing in white box you have Crunch, which is Vox AC30. I recommend for this channel to turn gain up, you know, really a lot. In this case you can get this really nice, overdriven but not too gainy sound. Is really awesome. Last favorite channels on this amplifier, it's Elite and Hybrid. Of course it's Marshall Plexi and JCM and 100, and it sounds fizzy, thin and dirty, you know, when you increase gain, it starts to be a little bit like, you know, like muffled, a little bit like broken sound, too much noise. Again, who knows, maybe I didn't spend enough time with these channels. But, you know, I'm not trying to make excuses for these channels. It's not for me, it's not for me. Maybe it's for you. So why not, right? It's my opinion. Next thing, it's a modern channel. It's a Mesa Boogie rectifier. You can crank it. You, of course, have this fizziness, really known for rectifiers, at least for some revision of rectifiers, like some fizzy sound, fizzy upper mid-range. But at the same time, you have this, you know, like crazy low bottom end. If you like something like that, when you admit not to have too tight sound, but you allow yourself to have like a truck instead of sport car. Some people even associate amplifiers with cars, and some people say if you have high gain tight amplifier, it's like sport car on the road. But rectifier is like big truck because it has oomph, you know, this like low punch, crazy low punch in this amplifier. I really enjoy. I used actually this channel for example, what I used for this video. So as you can see, it sounds not bad, sounds pretty cool. Even for recording, you can record this amplifier using a microphone or using DI input. So in both situations, you still can record it with really good level. I have like 30 different guitar emulations on the computer plugins, and I found maybe 1 or 2 which I really like from a computer. But I believe from these boxes it will be pretty, you know, competitive. It's really competitive box for plugin emulations actually. I personally never used Yamaha products before. When I was a radio producer during 10 years, I've been working for the biggest broadcasting company in my region when I was living before. Now I'm in Canada. I'm a teacher. Last 10 years I spent working for radio stations, for broadcasting companies, and definitely I used Yamaha mixers. That's it. I never used anything, and I'm absolutely amazed with quality of this equipment. So I really can recommend this company. Maybe, who knows, maybe you have longer relations with their products. Tell me what you think about Yamaha. I'm curious what you think about this. So next amplifier, it's a THR10C. It's a clean amplifier to some, you know, like blues type of crunchy amplifiers. So you have Fender Deluxe, you have Matchless DC30. You have Fender Blues Junior. I heard from people who use Fender Blues Junior at home it's too loud. For somebody, of course, maybe it's not too loud, but mostly people say it's too loud at home. You can have the same amplifier for the bedroom levels, or even quieter than bedroom levels, for night practicing or something like that, but having this cranked sound with power tube saturation, it's really amazing. Brit Deluxe, it's a pretty known Marshall blues breaker, and Mini, it's a Dr. Z Mini Z. It's like preamp tube, power tube, that's it. My second box, green box, it's a THR10X, one of my favorite amplifier ever. It's a Engl Powerball. Engl Powerball, I absolutely like how it can be really saturated, really overdriven sound, but at the same time it doesn't have too much noise in between chords, in between notes. It still sounds clean, but being really distorted. So distorted sound with the clear representation. You know, when you crank Marshall, usually you have a lot of noise between chords. You have, you know, like a little bit already squeezed sound, overcompressed sound. This sound still sounds open, still sounds clean, but being saturated, being overdriven. So it's amazing. What I like from this amplifier is 2 first channels. It's a power 1 and power 2, which is accordingly Engl Powerball crunch channel and Powerball lead channel. So it's these two just amazing, you know. I really wanted to refuse to get this second box, but after I heard Engl, I said, okay, I gonna pay for it, because it's really what I need, what I like. So this is my sound, you know, really like the sound. Late Van Halen channel, early Van Halen channel, so it's really cool. If you're into brown sound, I really didn't have enough time to get any opinion if they really implemented this sound properly. I really enjoy Engl, you know, I use only Engl on this amplifier. And you have channel, it says Dimebag Darrell. Dimebag Darrell, I don't know what is it. I'm joking, it's Dimebag Darrell, right? So anyway, it's really cool. It's a transistor amplifier with all this kind of fizziness. Really, you hear this high frequency noise. So if you control it properly, if you set up it properly, it can be really tight, really aggressive, and each chord, each note, if you like really high gain, it really sounds articulated. So pretty cool channel for guys who prefer this sort of sound. And of course clean channel, you can plug it in, you can plug bass guitar, and you can plug DI. Only one what you don't have in this amplifier, it's an acoustic guitar option, that's it. Right now I'm gonna tell you secrets of EQing guitar amplifiers. Check my video about that on December 12th. I guarantee this video will be amazingly useful. Of course, this amplifier has unique features like tuner, you can have a lot of effects, you can have headphones to plug in, auxiliary input, you can use something like music from iPhone, you can even put battery over there, you can grab this box, you know, somewhere to have some picnic or something like that. It would be strange to consider like it can beat something like Wizard amplifier or real Engl amplifier. In some applications, honestly speaking, playing some specific stuff on the guitar, when it's like, when all this so-called magic happens, it still can be sounding really good in the mix, and probably you shouldn't be worried about something like, oh my god, it's my digital emulation, whatever, you know, if it sounds good, it sounds good. It doesn't matter, you always should be after tubes or digital. I'm most of all probably more analog guy, but I still absolutely like digital, absolutely admit when it sounds great, it sounds great. By the way, you can save your presets, you have 5 buttons, you just hold it. If you find great settings, you just hold one of these 5 buttons, and under this button you're always gonna have these presets. You can change all your settings, then you just hit this button and you bring back your settings you liked. That's it. One of the last thing I want to say about that, why I chose this thing over Boss Katana, right? Nowadays Boss Katana is like really popular amplifier. If I was a guy who can't try those amplifiers, I would believe probably Katana is the best amplifier ever, because according to reviews, according to what people say on the internet, seems like, oh my god, you know, it's like the best amplifier ever. I would recommend you to go to a store and try them out in person. It's really key always about guitar sound to try everything in person. I mean, don't kill me for these words, I understand among you probably a lot of fans of Katana sound. I mean, it's still not bad amplifier, I like clean. I really like clean channel on this amplifier, but for me, overdriven sound sounds a little bit harsh, you know, like it's a transistor amplifier, and my main reason why I would like to have Yamaha over Katana, just because of Katana should be cranked, in my opinion, anyway. You know, Katana starts to sound okay when you really increase volume. So for me, it's still too loud. I try to keep my ears clean, you know, I really care about my ears, I don't want to ruin them, because I'm a mixer, I trained myself during last 20 years to hear all these nuances, what people usually don't hear. I really can notice all these little nuances, and I don't want to kill my ears listening to some loud amplifier. That's why I really avoid loud amplifiers, so Katana for me is still too loud. I mean, I tried Katana 50 watts, it still sounds too loud for me. Another thing, I like more open sound of Yamaha, because Katana sounds a little bit boxy sometimes, with wrong settings, so I prefer to avoid this boxy sound. Other than this, Katana is an amazing amplifier, especially you can gig with this. With Yamaha you cannot gig, it's too quiet. So I would say I don't gig, so I just prefer to use bedroom amplifier. If you tried THR10 wide box, sounds a little bit thin. You know, if you really want low-end punch, like really warm and big sounding sound, you would be amazed with green box. Check first 2 channels of Engl, it would be sounding, you know, like real big amplifier in this little box. Green box can do it. It's really big sounding low end. Really stripped down Cubase AI, as I know, version 6 or something like that. It's pretty old Cubase, it doesn't have a lot of features, but you know, it's software for free, so DAW for free, not bad. You know, some people say it's too expensive for this sort of devices. I can agree with that, it's pretty expensive, relatively, of course, it depends, you know. Last thing, I just gonna play again my example. In my example, I used this microphone. It's the cheapest microphone, I use it only for having it on the table, and I just specifically use this cheap microphone, which is much worse than my other microphones, just because of I wanted to show you how cheap equipment still can record this box. And as you can see, it's pretty decent guitar sound, right? I mean, of course it's not the best, but especially if you have great mixing skills, probably you can achieve really decent sound in song, using even this little box and this cheap microphone. So as you can see, it's pretty cool. And I didn't EQ it at all. You can see settings from that video. Chorus, flanger, phaser, tremolo, delay, you can tap to set up delay for some specific period of time. You can create like slap delay or quarter note delay, so it's up to you. You have option when you have delay and reverb in one like preset of effects. You have spring reverb and really wide with pre-delay, like long sounding hole. Sounds amazing on this amplifier with clean channel, sounds just cool. You know, you have two another knobs, it just controls overall volume from your amp. So it's not, you know, it's not like in tube amplifiers when volume really affects on your sound. In this case, it's just output volume, like separate knob, you know. You already crafted your sound using gain and master. And then you just control how loud it will be with no changes to your sound. Of course, more or less no changes. Of course, anyway, speakers does some difference, but you know, it will be really easy to do. So you can have really cranked sound with really quiet volume of your box. So it's amazing. And the second one controls volume, for example, from your backing track. You plug, for example, iPhone over here, you play some backing track, you control with this knob volume of backing track and with this knob volume of your guitar. Now I just gonna play a recording how on camera microphone, it's a Canon 80D, how it sounds in comparison with the microphone. So as you can see, even like ambient environment sounds really good, even comparing to the microphone. Check the screen, I'm gonna label which is which. In the description box I'm gonna put a link for other my videos. You can check how we check homeworks, you can check on recording, you can check a tutorial how I mix drums, pretty unique idea about parallel compression. You know, people apply parallel compression, but they usually don't get really punchy drums. I'm gonna show you in the tutorial why and how exactly you get punchy drums in the tutorial. Based on these things, you can imagine how our course works, so it's really interesting. Right now we have 30 students. I can provide free lesson for you if you like. You can join to us using Skype. You can check the class to make sure if it works for you. Subscribe to the channel because I don't earn any money from my channel. I mean, why I asking you to subscribe? Because the more subscribers on the channel, the more I see the interest for this sort of videos, and I gonna post more and more. From now on, I probably gonna keep my channel a little bit more active. In between classes, I'm gonna record maybe some videos. Maybe you can tell me what you like about THR10, or tell me what kind of topics you want me to cover in my videos. Can be helpful for you, maybe you have some questions. And don't forget to check my course, it can be really game-changing thing for you, because it's great value, great results, pretty unique course because it's really high-end. Okay guys, that's it for today, have a nice mixes.